Minutes after the cameras rolled and everyone was ready for what seemed like a normal romantic scene, something completely unexpected happened, something that froze the entire set in silence. No one expected that a routine workday would turn into an emotional moment that felt too real to be acting. Even the seasoned crew members exchanged glances, trying to discern whether they were witnessing improvisation or a genuine confession. Amidst the initially relaxed atmosphere, Soo-kai abruptly stopped the scene before he could finish his lines. His tone changed, no longer that of the character he was playing, but rather that of someone who had been carrying the burden of his feelings for too long. Everyone assumed he was simply discussing the blocking or the emotion of the scene. But what came out of his mouth was something far more surprising. He stared directly at his co-star, Tan Songyun, with an expression that was hard to describe, a mix of nervousness, determination, and vulnerability. The atmosphere suddenly fell silent, except for the faint hum of the filming equipment. Then he said that he was no longer sure where the line between his character's feelings and his own was. It sounded like drama dialogue, but the way he said it made everyone realize this was more than just acting. Some of the crew thought this was part of an overly in-depth acting technique. But when Soo-kai went on to confess that his feelings had grown during filming, the atmosphere immediately shifted. No cameras moved. No director gave any direction. Everyone simply watched, as if afraid to ruin what felt like a very private moment. Tan Songyun looked genuinely shocked. Her expression froze for a few seconds, as if her brain needed time to process what had just happened. She tried to smile, the professional smile of an actress accustomed to dealing with unexpected situations, but her eyes showed obvious confusion. This reaction only made the atmosphere even more tense. Soo-kai later admitted that he had tried to suppress his feelings. He said that at first, he believed it was just the chemistry of the characters. But the longer filming went on, the harder it became for him to separate his emotions on camera from his emotions off. His words sounded honest, perhaps too honest for a professional work environment. Several crew members began whispering to each other. Some looked moved, some awkward, and still others clearly uncomfortable with the situation occurring in the workplace. The director himself seemed unsure whether to stop the moment or let it unfold naturally. It's rare for real life and the drama world to collide so strongly. Tan Songyun finally spoke, but her voice was soft. She said the confession was too sudden, and she wasn't ready to respond in front of everyone. Her words were polite and controlled, but her emotions were clearly raging. A few seconds later, she asked for a moment and walked off the set. Her departure created a heavy void. Soo-kai stood still, as if realizing the consequences of what he had just done. There was no dramatic applause like in a movie, just a long silence and awkward stares from those around him. Production halted temporarily. Some crew members tried to lighten the mood with light-hearted banter, but the tension remained. Everyone knew they had just witnessed something that would likely become a major rumor in the entertainment industry. In a separate break room, Tan Songyun reportedly needed time to compose herself. For a professional actress, facing a personal confession in the middle of work is certainly not an easy situation, especially when working relationships and public reputation are at stake. Meanwhile, Soo-kai reportedly regretted the timing and place of his confession. Not because his feelings were insincere, but because he realized he had put Tan Songyun in a difficult position. She wanted to be honest, but that honesty came with consequences she hadn't anticipated. News of the incident quickly spread among the production staff. Within hours, rumors began leaking onto social media. Netizens immediately speculated, was this a real-life romance? Or was it just an emotional misunderstanding stemming from an overly intense romantic role? Their on-screen chemistry had long been a topic of conversation among fans. Many felt their closeness seemed too natural to be mere acting. The incident on set only strengthened some people's belief that there might be real feelings behind the camera. However, there were also skeptics. The entertainment industry is rife with promotional strategies, and some wondered whether the moment was intentional or an accidental publicity stunt for their drama. Speculation grew wilder as there was no immediate official statement from management. On the other hand, fellow cast members reportedly expressed support for the two. They understood that the line between a character's emotions and their personal ones can blur when actors immerse themselves in a role. This is rare, but not impossible. A few days after the incident, the atmosphere at the set slowly returned to normal. The two actors' professionalism was evident as cameras resumed rolling their romantic scenes. But for the crew who witnessed the confession, it felt different. There was an added layer of emotion that couldn't be ignored. The biggest question remained: would the confession change their relationship? Or would they return to being simply professional colleagues? The answer was known only to the two of them. Certainly, the moment left a lasting impression on everyone present. It was a reminder that behind the glitz and glamour of the entertainment world, actors are still human beings with complex and fragile feelings. And perhaps that's precisely why their chemistry feels so real, because at some point, the line between story and life truly disappears. Now the public can only wait. Will this story end as a fleeting rumor in the entertainment world, or the beginning of a real love story? Time will tell. After that incident, the dynamic between them seemed to shift subtly but noticeably. The previously easygoing conversation became more measured, as if they were carefully maintaining an invisible distance. Even when joking around between takes, there was a small pause before laughter erupted, a pause that hadn't occurred before. Some of the crew began to notice small details they hadn't previously considered important. The glances that averted their eyes too quickly, the hand gestures that almost touched but then held back, and the way they avoided being alone together for too long without other people around. All of this reinforced the impression that something had indeed changed between them. But professionalism remained paramount. When the cameras rolled, the two returned to their characters with an intensity that felt even deeper than before. Ironically, the romantic scenes that followed the incident seemed even more convincing, as if their unresolved emotions had seeped into their acting. Behind the scenes, the production management reportedly held serious discussions about the impact the incident would have on the filming schedule and the project's public image. They realized that rumors could be a double-edged sword, capable of increasing public attention, but also potentially sparking unwanted controversy. Meanwhile, fans began dissecting every behind-the-scenes video circulating online. Every expression, every smile, even the distance between them was analyzed with rapt attention. Many believed the feelings were genuine, while others argued that everyone was simply reading too deeply. For those who were on set when the incident occurred, the memory of the moment remains intense. They remember the sudden silence, how raw and unfiltered the emotions felt, and how reality suddenly felt more dramatic than any script they had ever read. Personally, both actors reportedly took time to reflect. Such a situation is not just about feelings, but also about careers, reputations, and long-term professional relationships. Any decision made must be carefully considered, as the consequences could impact many aspects of their lives. Some close friends believe that the incident may have been a necessary moment of honesty. Sometimes, feelings that have been bottled up for too long will find their way out, even in imperfect circumstances. The question is no longer whether the feelings are there, but what they will do once they realize they are there. And ultimately, this story serves as a reminder that the entertainment world isn't always a controlled scenario. Sometimes, the most powerful moments happen when the script stops and real life takes over. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. That moment of recognition changed something between them, and perhaps forever changed the way the public views their off-screen relationship.